went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Bamberley's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. Welcome to the channel. This is the West Bromwich Albion versus Newcastle United match preview for the game taking place this Sunday afternoon down at the Hawthorns. The game kicks off at 12 o'clock midday to be precise. A nice early one for a change. A Premier League relegation 6-pointer. Both clubs are in need of the 3 points right now for many a reason. I will continue on with the preview in just a second. I just want to pay my respect and say rest in peace to Glenn Roeder, ex-Newcastle United player and manager. Glenn Roeder sadly passed away on Sunday just gone. It was brought to my attention on social media and I was instantly shocked. And I have to say my thoughts and prayers are with Glenn Roeder's family and friends at this time. It shocked not only myself but the whole Newcastle United fan base and those who knew him in the footballing world. He will never be forgotten. He represented the club as a pro in the 1980s. I can't speak for that era because I wasn't born, but I did see a few clips online and what a fantastic footballer he was. He played with passion. He gave his all for the black and white shirt. He knew what it took to play for the badge and to represent Newcastle upon time. A great pro, but not only that, a great manager. He got the chance to manage Newcastle United between 2006 and 2007. I'll never forget what he did when he took over the club on a short-term basis. Graham Souness left us in a mess and he instantly got the respect of the squad. He got us into the European spots and the season after that he got the job full-time on a 2-year contract. It wasn't quite 2 years in the end, but it was great to see an ex-player get the chance to manage Newcastle United Football Club. And we got off to a good start. If you remember, we won a lot of games. The football was great. It wasn't Mike Ashley at the time. However, it didn't last very long. But he did win the Intertoto Cup. We were in the old UEFA Cup. We got knocked out by AZ Alkmaar. It was a good game over 2 legs. But Glenn Roeder had the respect of the squad. And he, in the end, lost his job through no fault of his own. There was injuries, losing your bigger players, and it was out of his control. And unfortunately, he wasn't allowed to stay on beyond that. He resigned, according to Wikipedia. But then was he pushed. Sam Allardyce, the now West Brom manager, took over, and the rest is history. But Glenn Roeder will always be remembered at this football club. My honour of watching Glenn Roeder in management was some of my best times as a Newcastle fan, because we were always challenging at the right end of the league. But then since Mike Ashley's come through the door, it's never been the same. Glenn Roeder, when he did leave Newcastle, he went on to manage Norwich City, and then he went from there. But in terms of the man himself, he was always approachable. When you would go to the training ground or if you were to go to the stadium, he was always there to get an autograph from him, or you could get a picture with a guy. Such a humble gentleman. He is a gentleman. And all I can say is, what a guy. He will never be forgotten in my lifetime. Rest in peace, Glenn Roeder. On to the preview. So we'll take on West Brom at the Hawthorns. It's going to be an interesting game. We need the 3 points. We're in dire straits. We are in a relegation battle. West Brom will be no pushovers. Steve Bruce has got a horrible record at this moment in time. It's 2 wins in 17 games. And if we lose against West Brom on Sunday, for me, he simply has to go. He needs to do the right thing and resign. And I don't say that lightly. If we lose against West Brom, that's 2 wins in 18 games. That is a sackable offence. He shouldn't even be in a job right now. It's only because Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley are spineless and they don't know how to run a football club as to why Steve Bruce is still in a job. He doesn't help himself. And I'm going to run through everything in terms of order building up to this fixture. So, the news that ASM and Almiron are going to be ruled out up to a month. The last thing we needed in a relegation battle. When you've got Wolves, West Brom, Aston Villa, Brighton, there's your chance to pick up the 3 points. And we're losing two of our best creative players to injury for up to a month. And by the time they come back, it could be too late. Now is not the time for Steve Bruce to be thrown out self-pity. He needs to trust the players that he puts out on Sunday to get the job done, because we've got individually good players that are very capable of stepping up and taking the game by the scruff of the neck and getting the 3 points. He needs to put trust in these players rather than throw them under the bus. And he's not helped himself this week, where there's been a rift between Matt Ritchie and Steve Bruce. Apparently Matt Ritchie allegedly called Steve Bruce a coward. Steve Bruce nudged him, and that's what led to Matt Ritchie saying what he did. He later then apologised. But that's the last thing we need, is handbags in a relegation battle. This is a big game for us on Sunday. We don't want to be seeing distractions. We need to get the victory. Steve Bruce, right, should not be throwing players under the bus. And he's blaming Matt Ritchie for the Wolverhampton Wanderers equaliser. The game finished 1-1. For me, the blame does not go to Matt Ritchie. It goes to a collective of players leading up to the Wolverhampton Wanderers equaliser. Do you know who I blame? First of all, Jamal Lewis. He's had a couple of opportunities to stop the cross from going in. He doesn't. And then when the ball goes into the box, what does Isaac Hayden do? He's ball watching. He's making no attempt to head the ball away. And it's an easy goal for Ruben Neves to score. Dubravka does his best to get his hands onto the ball. It's difficult when the ball is getting headed very close to him. Would Darlow have done any better? Probably not. So to the point where he's not only thrown Dubravka and Matt Ritchie under the bus, he's caused more problems upon himself rather than take responsibility. I'm sorry to say it, but if you go back to that game, we played well for an hour. That was it. That's been our problem all season. We don't play well for 90 plus minutes. Yes, we deserved to take the lead. But what was the game plan at 1-0 up and when ASM went off the pitch through injury? Okay, Miggy went off as well at half time. But there's still enough there to get the job done. Steve Bruce baffles me, man. He really, really does. But in terms of like the injuries and throwing players under the bus, okay, injuries don't help. That's out of your control. But throwing players under a bus when you're in a relegation battle, that's the last thing you do. You want to G up the players. Because West Brom on Sunday will be no pushovers. They know that they need the points, just like we do. And if they do get the points, then it gives them a fighting chance of staying up. Sam Allardyce will want to get one over us. Sam Allardyce will be loving it. So what we need to do is shut them up and get the 3 points and relegate them. By the way, I've got nothing against West Brom. I just don't like Sam Allardyce. Simple as that. I don't like Steve Bruce. I don't like our own manager. Fact. We need to get the job done. It's as simple as that. Steve Bruce needs to get it right now. None of this 5 at the back rubbish. Not even Diamond. Go 4-2-3-1. Play it simple. Get it West Brom. Have a go. Let's look at the Premier League table for the game on Sunday. West Bromwich Albion only have 17 points. They're currently 19th in the Premier League. The pressure is on them. They are points worse off than the TOON. Anything less than 3 points for them, for me, they're 75% gone. Not officially relegated, but 75% gone. They played in midweek. They have played a game more. Lost 1-0 to Everton. So where is their confidence going to be at? It's not going to be very high, is it? They're going to be tired. So we need to try and take advantage of the situation. We've had over 7 days rest. West Brom haven't. So there's simply no excuses on Sunday not to get a result. But Sam Allardyce will have them G'd up because it's against us. If you look at other teams around us, Fulham have also played a game more. They're currently in the relegation zone, 3 points behind us. They took on Spurs and lost 1-0. So our destiny is in our own hands. If we win on Sunday, then there's a bit of breathing space between ourselves, Fulham and West Brom. We've also got a game in hand. If we could beat Aston Villa, then we go on 31 points. But I'm trying to think logically. We've got a run of fixtures now where we've got to be picking up points. None of this, oh, we'll try and get points. We need the points. It's simple as that. And if we don't start the game well, then I don't want to know. I really don't. And if we lose the game, then it could be the final straw for Steve Bruce. Well, fingers crossed it is, because I don't want to see him anymore, personally. Let's look at my predicted starting 11 for the game on Sunday. There will be some changes due to injury. I am going to play 4-2-3-1 as usual. Play it safe, not too open, but enough to try and get a result against West Brom. So in goal, Martin Dubravka. Yes, he got thrown under the bus against Wolves from Steve Bruce, but I didn't think he had a bad game. He made some fantastic saves, and if it wasn't for his injury time stop with his shoulder, Wolves win that game. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. He leads by example. He commands his box very well, and Martin Dubravka will give his all between now and the rest of the season. At left back, I'm going to go Jamal Lewis. I was looking to replace him, but I just want to keep him in the side. Not dent his confidence, build his confidence. He's a good player. Yes, he made a mistake, but he will get better. Trust us. He just needs to, be given the correct service. He needs to be the sort of player that is given the freedom to run up and down, the flank. Wolves are a decent side. They've got quality, whereas West Brom don't have that. He will get plenty of opportunities to get down that flank, to put a ball into the box and make something happen. At right back, I believe Manquillo could be back for this game. If not, I'm going to go Emil Kraft. But I think Manquillo is the best of what we've got. A solid right back will do your job, put his body on the line, put great tackles in, and that's what you need in a right back. Something that Emil Kraft has been missing in recent games, where he's been making too many mistakes, but you won't get that from Manquillo. My two centre-backs. First up, Kamal Lascelles had a good game against Wolves, a rock-solid brick wall. That's what you want to see from the captain, leading by example, chipping in with goals where he can, but also he puts his body on the line, and that's what you want to see. Alongside him, Federico Fernandez. He should be back for this game. I'd rather him than Kieran Clark. I do rate Kieran Clark, don't get me wrong, but Fernandez is the best of what we've got. Another rock-solid brick wall. He will do the job that is expected of him on Sunday. The two CDMs, first up, Joe Shelby to be back into the side. We're going to need him for his Hollywood balls, for his know-how, his experience, and he's been saying in recent press conferences that he gives his all. Well, I want to see it on Sunday. Alongside him, Isaac Hayden. He will do the job that's expected of him. He'll put his body on the line for the club. He will get forward where he needs to, and he's a good all-round player in the centre of that midfield. In the number 10 role, I'm going to go with Joe Willock, a player who has got a lot of pace. Normally it's Miggy, but because Miggy's injured, Joe Willock has got what it takes to get around the pitch. He's got a lot of energy, which will be good for our advantage. Give him the service and he'll definitely score the goals. He's already got one so far this season, and we need to see more of Joe Willock in that sort of area of the pitch. And for number 10 as well, I think he could do it. He's a sort of positive lad that we've needed for a long time. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Ryan Fraser. He needs to start this game. I don't understand why Steve Bruce is not giving him the game time. We know what Fraser can do. He was on for no longer than 7 minutes in the second half. He puts a delicious ball into the box for Jamal Lascelles to score, and that's what he brings to the table. That's what we need. Someone who's going to cut in and set up goals or score goals for himself, and he will deliver if the service is right around him. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Jacob Murphy. I'm going to bring him back into the side. Alan St. Maximin is injured, so he needs to make the most of his opportunity. Whether he's leaving at the end of the season or not, here is his chance to really show what he's about. I think he's a good lad. I do think he's a great footballer. He's not really been given much of a free role in the side, but now that he's got that chance, he needs to take it with both hands. Up front, I'm going to go with Dwight Gayle. West Brom will know all about Dwight Gayle. He's a goal scorer, and that's the sort of striker that West Brom are missing, someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. But I rate Dwight Gayle, I do. I think he's decent against the bottom end sides. I feel like he could do a job on Sunday in that way, in that if he gets the service, then who knows, anything's possible. I don't want to see him out on the right-hand side, and if he's in his natural position and the service is good, then expect him to put the ball in the back of the net. So in terms of my score prediction for the game on Sunday, I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Newcastle. We need to get the 3 points. It's important. Anything less is a disaster for me. 2-1, it's going to be a tight game. There's not going to be much in it. I expect a stop-start game, probably very boring at times. Two conservative sides, don't want to give too much away. The quality will not be there, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have what it takes to beat West Brom, and we are not ruining any big opportunities come 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. But let me know your score predictions down below in the comment section. And that is the end of the match preview. On Sunday, the players will be wearing black armbands to remember manager and player Glenn Roeder. And for the last time, rest in peace. You will be remembered. Please, lads, do it for Glenn Roeder. Give us the 3 points in memory of the great man. Enjoy the game on Sunday. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. Put your comments down below. And I'll see you all later. How are the lads?
Hey, hey,